When my little sister wore the blue nail polish to Thanksgiving dinner, I knew I had 48 hours to get her out. My sister Iris and I invented the blue polish code when she was 10 and I was 15. Our dad had a temper, not the kind that left marks, the kind that filled a room until you couldn't breathe. He'd go quiet, then quieter, then something small would set him off. A dropped fork, a wrong answer, a laugh at the wrong moment. Mom worked nights at the hospital, so a lot of evenings it was just us and him. One night, Iris spilled juice on the couch, and I watched his face do the thing. I grabbed her hand and pulled her upstairs before he could stand up. We hid in my closet for 2 hours. When we came out, he was asleep. The next morning, I painted her thumbnail blue with a little bottle I'd bought at the drugstore. I told her, if it ever gets bad and you can't say it out loud, wear the blue. I'll come get you. No matter where I am, no matter what time. She nodded like it was the most serious contract of her life. She was 10. She wore it twice growing up. Once when she was 11, the night Dad threw a plate at the wall over a bad report card. Once when she was 13, the night he found out she'd been talking to a boy online. Both times, I drove home from wherever I was and slept on her floor. Both times we didn't talk about it in the morning. That was the deal. The blue said everything. Then I moved out for college. Then Iris moved out too, went to nursing school 3 states away. Then Dad had a heart attack at 58 and mellowed the way scared men do. For 9 years, no blue. Iris got her degree, met a paramedic named Selene at the hospital where she worked, fell in love, moved in with her, got a golden retriever named Biscuit. She'd send me photos of the 3 of them hiking. Selene was warm, funny, made Iris laugh in a way I hadn't heard since we were kids. I met her twice and thought, thank God, my sister finally landed somewhere safe. Thanksgiving this year was at my parents' house. First time all of us in one place in almost 2 years. Iris and Selene drove in the night before. I got there Thursday morning. Iris opened the door and hugged me, and I said the usual things. You look great. How was the drive? And then I looked down at her hands. Her left thumbnail was blue. The rest of her nails were bare, just the thumb. The exact shade we used when we were kids. My stomach dropped through the floor. I looked up at her face, and she was smiling like nothing was wrong, and her eyes were begging me not to say anything. Selene walked out of the kitchen holding a bottle of wine. You must be the famous older brother. Warm smile, firm hug, perfect teeth. She kept her hand on the small of Iris's back the whole time we talked, not pushing, just there. At dinner, I tried to sit next to Iris. Selene slid in between us. Oh, sorry, I get anxious in new places. I just need to be near her. Everyone laughed. Cute, sweet. I watched Iris's plate. She barely ate. Every time she reached for the wine, Selene moved it a little further away. Babe, you know how you get. Iris smiled and drank water. After dinner, I found Iris alone in the laundry room folding towels she didn't need to fold. I said, the blue. She froze. Didn't turn around. Selene's voice from the hallway. Baby, where'd you go? Iris whispered without looking at me. She reads my texts. She has a tracker on my phone. She told me if I ever leave, she'll tell everyone I was the one hurting her. She's a paramedic. She knows how to make bruises look like anything. Selene walked in smiling. There you are. Hand on the small of Iris's back again. They left the room. That night, I lay awake in my childhood bedroom staring at the ceiling. Biscuit, the golden retriever, was tied up in the yard because Selene said he shed too much. I could hear him whining. I thought about the closet. I thought about the fork. I thought about the promise I made a 10-year-old girl in her pajamas. Friday morning, I told my parents I was taking Iris out for coffee. Just the 2 of us. Sibling thing. Selene said she'd come. I said, it's a tradition. 20 minutes. We'll be right back. Selene's smile flickered for half a second. Then she said, of course. I didn't take Iris to coffee. I drove her straight to the police station. She had bruises on her ribs she showed me in the parking lot. She had screenshots she'd been saving for 8 months on a burner email Selene didn't know about. She filed the report. I drove her to a domestic violence shelter 2 hours away. I called my mom from the road and told her everything. Mom cried for an hour, then drove to the house, packed Iris's things, and got Biscuit out too. Iris stayed at the shelter for 6 weeks. Then she moved in with me. It's been 4 months. Last Sunday we were eating pancakes and I looked at her hands wrapped around her coffee mug. Every nail was painted. 10 different colors. Not one of them blue.